Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Hope everyone is doing well. In our last class, we have learned about one life process, that is nutrition. And today, we are going to deal with another life process, that is respiration. What is respiration? Generally, when we talk, suppose if I ask you, come on, breathe in, breathe out. So you are breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out, that is, you are taking carbon dioxide in and oxygen out. So taking in of oxygen and breathing out carbon dioxide. That is what in general in our lower classes we have learned, this is respiration. But as we are moving to higher classes, only just taking in oxygen and giving out carbon dioxide and taking in air, where we are just using oxygen and remaining air comes out, is nothing but what we call as breathing. Then what is respiration? What exactly happens in respiration? Respiration is energy generating system where we release energy. So how energy is released? From where do we get this energy? We get this energy from food. Yes, very good. In our last class, we have learned how nutrition is providing us with the energy. So same thing. So one process is connected with the other process. The food we consume is broken down from complex to simple molecules. When the food is breaking down from complex to simple molecules by the action of enzyme, we call it as digestion. Exactly right. But when we talk about respiration, during respiration also, if you want to give a proper definition for that, respiration is not just you write taking in O2 and giving out CO2. It is what we call as breathing. That is what we call as breathing. But when we are talking about what is respiration, so the definition given for that here you can see. So respiration is the process. Respiration is the process where the food is broken down from complex to simple form with release of energy. With release of energy. That is the definition that you can give for respiration. So respiration, you can write, is the process where the complex food molecules are broken down into simple form where energy is released. Along with energy, even carbon dioxide is produced and water is also released. Even water is also released. Some amount of water is released during this process. And do you know, when we talk about this word respiration, respiration is derived from a Latin word. It is derived from a Latin word, which we have discussed about what is respiration. That is energy releasing system. It is completely different from breathing. Breathing is nothing but simply taking in air and giving out air. And then I have discussed that respiration, when you want to give a proper definition for respiration, respiration is a process where food is broken down from complex to simple form with release of energy, where carbon dioxide and water are also the end products. Do you know how much of energy is released here? It is said that 686 kilocalories of energy we release every time we breathe. And respiration is derived from a Latin word which means to respire or to breathe. It is a Latin word. And Joseph Priestley and Lavoisier, you can see the picture of Joseph Priestley and Lavoisier are the people who explained about gases, properties of gases, and they have done many experiments on it. Let us move on to the next slide here. So I said you can see the lungs over here, the tracheae. You can see carbon dioxide coming out through the lungs, whereas oxygen entering inside the lungs. So respiratory system is the system that can help you breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide. So you must remember that respiratory system is divided into two types depending upon various organisms, how they carry the process of respiration. So here we go, how these respirations are. You can see the types of respiration here as I'm discussing before, like respiration divided into aerobic and also anaerobic respiration. Aerobic, by the name itself, aero, in presence of air. Here I'm specifying the air is oxygen. When we talk about air, we are more concerned about oxygen, as oxygen helps in breaking down of food material. So oxidation of food material can also be called as respiration. Okay. When we talk about anaerobic respiration is the respiration where oxygen is absent here. So some of the organisms that undergo this respiration are yeast and bacteria. Yeast and certain bacteria. When I talk that lactobacillus is the bacteria, you can see it in your daily life. Maybe during Ramadan, you are, eating the hivade, right? Yeah, exactly. So that dish also contains the curd in it, beta. How the curd is formed? By milk. Very good. Yes, students, you are taking milk and you are converting that milk into curd. So who is helping in converting this milk into curd? So the milk is converted into curd by the lactobacillus. So what process it is undergoing? The bacteria will not use oxygen. It grows in the milk and converts the milk into curd by the process called as fermentation. That is lactic acid fermentation. When I talk about yeast are also the organism that undergo the process of fermentation. In absence of oxygen, when oxygen is not available, they undergo the process of fermentation. So the bread, okay, the idli, dosa and all what you prepare, what you do, you will store the thing overnight. So what is happening there? Again, yeast is growing and it is converting it into alcohol, molasses, formation of wine, formation of molasses, grape juices. All these are also one of the example for this type of respiration. Now let us go with in detail about this aerobic and anaerobic respiration. So let us see what is this aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Here you can see aerobic respiration, I already said that it utilizes oxygen. And when I talk about anaerobic respiration, you can see it occurs in absence of oxygen. It occurs in the mitochondria. Yeah, mitochondria is playing a very important role. It occurs in the mitochondria and it occurs even in the mitochondria. But it involves a process of glycolysis in cytoplasm. But it involves a process of glycolysis where glucose is broken down into pyruvic acid. Here also pyruvic acid is formed. Pyruvic acid is the common product in both aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Here pyruvic acid is further converted into carbon dioxide and water, whereas here the pyruvic acid is directly converted into the alcohol. Exactly, it is directly converted into alcohol or the lactic acid. And do you know here 38 ATP molecules are generated, whereas here only 2 ATP molecules are generated. Ma'am, what do you mean by ATP molecules? Maybe you're wondering what is the full form of this ATP. ATP is nothing but adenosine triphosphate. Adenosine triphosphate is nothing but, the compound that is present in the mitochondria that have the capacity to store energy. When ATP is releasing the energy, then it converts into ADP. So again, when ADP combines with the energy during the process of respiration, your energy is formed. So that energy combines with the ADP, again it forms the ATP. So when I talk here, one ATP molecules release 7,200 calories of energy. I repeat, one ATP molecules give 7,200 calories of energy. Very important, this one. You have to remember. Coming to the next one, when we move on to the next here, let us see how the process of respiration is carried in plants. How plants are undergoing the process of respiration. Respiration in plants. Do you know plants have lungs for breathing? Do plants have lungs for breathing? No. They are also living organisms, but not like us. They don't have lungs for breathing. In spite, plants also consume oxygen and they consume oxygen and they also release carbon dioxide during respiration. Exactly. But during photosynthesis, what they are doing? During photosynthesis, they are consuming carbon dioxide and giving oxygen. But as plants are also living things, they need to breathe. So during the process of respiration, they consume oxygen and they give us carbon dioxide. So how it is carried out? Even roots also respire. Even stem also respire. Even leaves also respire. So the major respiration here is carried by stomata. Stomata plays a very important role. Stomata plays a very important role in the process of respiration. Let us see how stomata is playing the role. So here we go. So you can see here in this slide, basically all plants respire through stomata. Stomata are tiny holes present on the leaf. If I talk about the leaf, this is the leaf you can see here. When I'm talking about the leaf, so this leaf contains tiny pores, tiny holes on it. The tiny holes or pores are nothing but the stomata. If you want to see that stomata under a microscope, you can see the structure this way. This is stomata. Here the stomata is closed. Here the stomata is open. Stomata is not any organ, dear. It is not any organ. It is just the opening. It is surrounded by guard cells. Suppose these are the guard cells. And the opening here, the opening is called as stomata. The opening is called as stomata. And these are guard cells. These are guard cells. So stomata are surrounded by guard cells. Stomata is just the opening. It is not any structure. I repeat. Is it okay? So you can see here, the guard cells are closed. There is no hole and stomata is closed. When the guard cells open, the hole is formed and you can see the stomatal opening. So this is about how plants are exchanging the gases, how carbon dioxide enters and how oxygen comes out, how oxygen enters and how carbon dioxide comes out during the process, photosynthesis and respiration, and vice versa. Now, ma'am, what about the plants that live in desert areas? Some plant lives in desert areas. So the plants that live in desert area, if I want to draw that plant beta, the plant that live in desert area actually cactus. They don't have leaves. This is the stem and these are the spines. This is the stem and I'm drawing even the spines on it beta. You can see all these are the spines. So as there are no leaves, no stomata. If there are no stomata, then how the process of respiration is carried out in desert plants? So in desert plants, lenticels are playing a very important role, not only in desert area, but also plants that survive in cold climatic conditions. Beta. All the leaves are fall off because of the weather. Okay, mostly during winter season and all, you cannot see any leaves. They fall off to protect themselves from cold climatic conditions. So only the stem you can see. This is the stem. Only the stem you can see over there. And can you see this tiny pores on the stem? All these are lenticels. And if you want to see that lenticels, you can see that under a microscope this way, beta. This is the lenticel. You can see the opening here. Through here, only the oxygen enters inside the cells. The oxygen enters inside the cell. And there are some plants that live in marshy areas. Some plants that live in marshy areas. What do you mean by this marshy areas? Waterlogged areas. They live in waterlogged areas. That's the reason that when they are surviving in waterlogged areas, here what happens? The roots which are inside the water unable to breathe. Why? Because completely muddy area. So the holes will be closed. So they come up to the surface. So wahan pe roots pure, you can see all the roots come up to the surface and they breathe. And when the roots are coming up to the surface, they form tiny pores or pores. We call these as nematophores. We call it as nematophores or knees. We call it as nematophores or knees. Nematophores or knees, through which the process of breathing is carried out in the plants. So these are the aerial roots for breathing, lenticels for breathing, and stomata also for breathing. So just now we have seen respiration in plants is carried by stomata, lenticels, and also aerial roots.